Hello, welcome to the National Kidney Foundation Gala in 2020, the weirdest year that we've had yet. Today, we're going to be making a spin on a classic cocktail, originally born in the 1930s, so we're taking it back a little bit, the French 75. We're going to add basil. If you don't have basil, thyme or mint, any of the hardier herbs, the season that we're coming into provides a lot of that. Those will work as well. Harry Craddock is the original author of the French 75. He was cleverly a bartender from the United States, from America, who left during Prohibition to tend bar in London at the Savoy Hotel. So from that experience comes his cocktail book, and that's what we're using as a template for the French 75. So let's start by making sure you have all the tools that you need. You'll need a glass. Every cocktail's made in a glass. I'll give you a little trick. I already did away with my glass because I put it in the freezer. So this is a fun home bartending hack that I love. There's millions of ways to chill down a glass, but as you probably know, temperature is really important to the final cocktail. So I love to tuck my glass in the freezer while I'm assembling everything. By the time I go to grab my ice, I also take out my glass and it's nice and frosty. That way your first pour into the glass doesn't immediately warm what you just worked so hard to chill. So take a second and tuck your glass into the freezer as well. You'll also need a couple of niche bar tools, but it's okay if you don't have them. There's tons of substitutes. I'm going to use a jigger to measure all of my ingredients. It has a 1 ounce and a 2 ounce pour, which is super helpful because those are the exact measurements we're going to be using for the French 75. If you don't have a jigger, here's another little trick for you. 1 ounce on your jigger is equivalent to 2 tablespoons. So go ahead and grab some of your measuring things that you typically use in the kitchen, and you can still measure out and get those exacting proportions today. You'll need a shaker. Now, again, I'm going to use a proper bar shaker, but if this is not something that you have in your home bar, just use a mason jar or a Tupperware container, really anything that has a secure lid where you can shake your liquid and your ice. That's going to be sufficient for the French 75 today. You may also need a strainer. This is something called a Hawthorne strainer. There's tons of different kinds. You may have a mesh strainer or sieve in your kitchen. Go ahead and use that. And I won't tell, but if you just use your fingers to hold back the basil and the bits of ice, if you've washed your hands and you're making the cocktail for yourself, that can be our secret. Lastly, you'll need a muddler. If you don't have one of these, it's just a plastic or wooden piece with a flat end. You can always use the butt end of a wooden spoon in your kitchen. The goal is not that we're going to annihilate the basil leaves once they're in our shaker, but we're just going to press down and twist to release some of the oils so that we can allow that herb to flavor our cocktail. After all, that's our fun spin on the French 75. Eventually, you'll need ice, as I mentioned, but leave that in the freezer until we're ready to use it. So you should be prepared if you're making the cocktail along with us with your ingredients, but let's just run a quick check through. Your base spirit in a French 75 is gin. I'll be using something local. Prairie is a great producer and a great affordable price point for the home bar as well if you're looking for suggestions. A French 75 can also be made with cognac. So if you're more of a cognac fan, feel free to flip that out. The gin tends to be the classic expression, but through cocktail history, there are examples of both. So gin or cognac will be your base. You'll also need lemon juice and something that we call simple syrup. These are both ingredients I keep in little delis in my fridge because I make a lot of cocktails. But if you don't, that's all right too. You can make them really quickly. Lemon juice, of course, just fresh squeezed. If you have a hand press or even a fork that you can stick in the flesh, squeeze out that lemon juice and just make sure you remove the seeds. And for simple syrup, it's just a 1-to-1 ratio of sugar, any kind that you like, and warm water. You can put some warm water in a mason jar with the equivalent amount of sugar and shake it up, or you can reduce it a little bit in a saucepan, kind of stirring as you go. As soon as that sugar, those crystals, are dissolved, you've made simple syrup. Your work is done. Just let it chill, and then you can use it to balance your cocktails. You will also need some basil leaves. Like I mentioned, you can use other herbs here. A classic French 75 doesn't have any herbs. We're just adding them in to kind of give a little bit of a twist to the cocktail that we're making tonight. This is a special event, so a special edition seemed appropriate. The last thing you'll need is something bubbly. I'm just making for one, so I'm going to use what's called a split, a little baby bottle of cava. You can use Prosecco or champagne. If you're making a spirit-free cocktail, you can even use club soda and omit the gin. You're making essentially sort of an herby, effervescent lemonade, which will be really delicious once you're finished. So you've got all your ingredients and you've got all your tools. Let's build a basil French 75. So I'm going to start with my shaker and dump in my basil leaves. Anywhere between 5 and 7. You'd like for them to be fresh. If they do have some little black spots on them, which happens right when they start to decompose, that's okay. A couple of those spottings don't really affect the flavor. Then you need a little bit of liquid in that shaker so that we can muddle and release the oils of the basil. So I'm going to put in my lemon juice and my simple syrup. We're going to use equivalent portions. So 1 ounce of lemon juice. Remember, you can use 2 tablespoons if you need an alternate measurement, and the same with the simple syrup, 1 ounce of simple syrup. Now, if you didn't get a chance to make simple syrup, but you have other sweet things in your house, one of my favorite things about home bartending is that we can be flexible, and you know your palate. So if you're making a drink for you, go ahead and make some substitutions. You can use agave or honey. Thin it a little bit with some warm water so it doesn't get sticky inside the tin, or you can use maple syrup. That gives some extra depth to a cocktail. Then I try to save the best for last when I'm building. So once all my cheap ingredients are in the tin, I will then add the liquor ingredients. But first, in the French 75, this is our opportunity to muddle. So take your muddler or the back of your spoon and gently crush down those basil leaves in the little bit of liquid that's in your tin. You'll start to smell it after 3 or 4 pushes into those leaves. Like I said, we don't need to annihilate them. Those basil leaves don't need to be mush by the time we're done. We're just looking to release some of those oils into the lemon and sugar mixture so that it can flavor our drink. Is your basil muddled? Great. You're ready for your spirit. Take your gin, and we're going to put twice as much gin in as we've done so far. So 2 ounces of your gin goes into the shaker. It's starting to look ready. Okay, now we're going to save the bubbles for a moment. This is the part where you run to your freezer and grab your glass, which is hopefully frosty by now, and your ice. Everybody go. Did you do it? Okay, I've got my frosty glass and my ice. Put your ice in the shaker. This is when things really start to move. Once you put the ice into your shaker, you're on the clock. It starts to melt and it will chill the drink. We're looking for 2 things. Of course, temperature, but the thing we don't often think about is that shaking ice with your cocktail is also adding an ingredient, water. As it melts, that water balances your cocktail. If you drink it right out of the tin, it might be a bit much. So now shake until if you have a metal tin, shake until it's a little bit too chilly to hold. Otherwise, about 15 seconds. Let's go. Now, my strainer is built in to the shaker that I'm using. If that's not true for you, this is where you'll want to use some kind of strainer to hold back the ice and the basil chips from getting in your drink. Pour into your frosty drink. One of the fun things about cocktail history is that when you start tracing back, you see evidence of the same cocktail over and over again. Sometimes, though, it goes by a different name. In the era of Charles Dickens, this is one of my favorite bits about the French 75. Supposedly, he used to serve it at his literary symposiums. He called it the champagne cup, but it had all the same ingredients as a French 75. So that's kind of cool. You're drinking the drink that Charles Dickens loved. So now my glass is about half full. That's a problem. It should be all the way full. It's because we haven't added the bubbles yet. So a quick note on opening your bottle of champagne. Take off all of the soft aluminum. And typically at the top, you will have a cork and a cage. Loosen the cage, but don't remove it. It's a huge mistake we make when opening champagne. Once you loosen that cage, the pressure cooker is on. That cork could pop off without notice. So keep your thumb on the top and screw the bottle, not the cork. You look like such a pro in front of your friends. Now you're going to top your French 75 with about 2 ounces of champagne. You can measure it in your jigger, or you could just pour to what's called the wash line in your glass, which is full but not spilling over. Woo! That first sip is so herby. Enjoy your French 75 during the virtual gala. My name is Linda. If you want to find me or follow me, the easiest way is on Instagram. I'm under Chicago Dennison, Dennison, and I do tons of events just like this. Enjoy.
Thank you, Linda. That looks delicious. Good evening, and welcome to the 35th Annual Gift of Life Gala. My name is Tipu Puri. I'm a University of Chicago nephrologist, and I have the privilege and honor of serving as the president of the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois Board of Directors. I've been working with the NKFI for more than 15 years, and this past year I couldn't be prouder of our staff and volunteers as they rose to the challenge of 2020 and continued to deliver on our mission to serve our community. Tonight is all about coming together as a team, a theme that is more important than ever in 2020. While the pandemic is preventing us from celebrating in person tonight, it's not preventing us from coming together to support the NKFI and its life-saving work. The great Phil Jackson once said, "The strength of the team is in each individual member. The strength of each member is in the team." As we celebrate the NKFI's 35th Annual Gift of Life Gala, it cannot be overstated that this organization would not be what it is today without the strength and dedication of its supporters. Tonight, we will present 2 Gift of Life awards, one to the late Chicago White Sox broadcaster, Ed Farmer, and the other to Illinois State Senator Mattie Hunter. Both individuals have made an astonishing impact on the kidney and organ donation communities, and we are honored to celebrate them tonight. We will also honor Baxter International, Inc. with the Corporate Partner Award for their dedication to the mission of the NKFI. Tonight is also about celebrating all of you, heroes, each and every one of you that support people and families living with or affected by kidney disease. Patients, families, recipients and donors, surgeons and nephrologists, advanced practitioners, social workers, dietitians, leaders from companies that have long histories of commitment to kidney disease, and leaders from new businesses looking to make a difference, and many others. To all of you, thank you for being here and your commitment to our mission. I am proud to be part of your team. So enjoy this evening. I hope you find yourselves inspired. At particular times, I hope you find yourself overwhelmed with the spirit of generosity. Most of all, I hope you leave tonight with a renewed sense of teamwork in our endeavor to change the trajectory of kidney health in Illinois. With that, it is now my pleasure to introduce you to our Master of Ceremonies this evening. We thank him for sharing his talent with us tonight Honored guests, please join me in welcoming WGN-TV's Pat Tomasulo.
Hey everybody, and good evening once again, and welcome to the 35th Annual Gift of Life Gala. As Dr. Purdy said, my name is Pat Tomasulo. I'm coming to you live tonight from my condo, is where I'm coming to you from. I'm in my office, which is an absolute mess, but none of you can tell, because I got this awesome fake baseball stadium that I'm standing in. So it looks pretty awesome, and I didn't have to clean. And also didn't have to wear pants tonight. Got some shorts on. This is awesome. This is what I love about these virtual events. You can do it, just dress up from this could be a half shirt. You don't even know. This could be a Belichick style outfit where I've just cut off the t-shirt and the bottom of this blazer. Anyway, let's have some fun. Some of you might know me from WGN, the morning show. I work on the morning show there every day. I also used to have my own late night comedy show on WGN called Man of the People. I assume some of you watched it. Perhaps if all of you watched it, I'd still have a late night show on WGN. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're here to discuss tonight. Tonight we're here to talk about and raise money for a cause that is far more important than silly late night comedy, and that is to raise awareness about kidney disease and organ donation. It is critical for us to do that. Like many of you watching tonight, I have someone in my life who has not necessarily been impacted by kidney disease per se, but kidney dysfunction and kidney issues. So it's important to me, the work that all of you are doing to raise funds. 12 people die every day waiting for a kidney that will never come. Just imagine if we could eliminate that statistic, or better yet, prevent kidney disease from really progressing to that stage, to kidney failure, where someone needs a transplant. So thank you. Thank you all for being here as we come together as a team to encourage kidney health in Illinois. Tonight, you're going to hear from some of the patients whose lives that you are changing through your generous donations. You're going to hear their stories. You're going to hear from them personally. Each year for the past, 35 years, the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois presents the Gift of Life Award. This award is given to recognize individuals, to recognize entities who have truly made a difference in the world of kidney disease, prevention, transplantation, and organ donation. And to get us started with that is a guy I like to keep on speed dial anytime I got a red light ticket that I want to contest, or a speed camera ticket that I want to contest. Just try and fire up the email and give this guy a call. Illinois Secretary of State Jesse White is going to present the first of tonight's Gift of Life Awards.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jesse White, and I've had the great pleasure of serving as your Illinois Secretary of State for the past 22 years. I'm here today to applaud, commend, and thank the Kidney Foundation for giving my good friend Ed Farmer an award for his commitment to the organ and tissue donor program. Ed believed, like I did, that when you're alive and well, give blood. When you're no longer here, give organs. And when you've done those two things, you've made a positive impact upon society, considering the fact that one person can provide life or improve the quality of life for 25 individuals. So to the Kidney Foundation, thank you for giving, thank you for caring, and thank you for making a difference. And I'm really ecstatic about the fact that Ed Farmer, who is no longer with us, was recognized for this wonderful award given to him by the Kidney Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary of State Jesse White. What an amazing human being you are in your own rights. But we're here tonight to talk about Ed Farmer. As he receives the Gift of Award, Ed Farmer is not somebody that liked to stand in front of audience, tooting his own horn and receiving accolades. That's not who he was. Ed was somebody that all knew would just go out and be amongst the people and do as much as he could for the people. So I'd like to say thank you to Ed Farmer. Ed Farmer was somebody that we know gave of himself. He was remarkable. There's no question about that. When you met Ed Farmer, he made a difference in your life. He cared. He cared about what you had to say. It wasn't about what he was talking about. That had nothing to do with it. We know this about Ed Farmer. Thank you to Shanda and Barbara. Barbara, his wife, gave Ed every year to us in Chicago for the baseball season. Shanda, his daughter, his loving daughter, did everything that she could to make his life easy and enjoyable, which was not an easy task, trust me. If you spent time with Ed, there were times where he could work you. So thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Shanda. Also, I'd like to mention the fact that Ed was somebody that always was there to anybody in need, not just organ tissue donor network people, not just kidney recipient people, anybody, whether it involved pets, women, children, didn't matter. Ed gave of himself. If you try to keep up with Ed, it was something that was not very easily done. Thank you to his brother, Tom. Tom, the gift you gave him of life 30 years ago gave us Ed for an extra 30 years. It's something that we just could not have enjoyed more than what you did for him. You gave him the gift of life. So thank you very much. Also, Ed stood for certain things in the city of Chicago. The city of Chicago in itself, he was a proud Chicagoan. He stood in front of everybody and tooted the horn of being from St. Rita. You know, he'd blow the horn for Notre Dame. This is Ed. Ed was always ready. He was ready to go for a fight if he had to as well. I'll give you a quick story, how tough Ed was. There were times where I saw Ed suffering late in his life, where he was dealing with some other issues that had nothing to do with kidneys. But Ed was somebody that didn't ask for help. You had to force it on him. He had some issues going on with his legs. And day in and day out, he got up, he got to work, and he did it on his own. It didn't matter. A lot of people didn't realize the last 2 years of Ed's life, he was dealing with a few issues, and he still went to the gym tirelessly, got his work in, and he came to work and gave you guys the amazing show that he did over the radio all those years. So thank you, Ed Farmer, for being as tough as you absolutely were. Ed Farmer, he deserves this award. He's truly the face of the Chicago White Sox organization. He's somebody that, without question, is definitely somebody you want to have had in your life. Ed Farmer was an amazing human being. The Gift of Life Award is not something he would be sitting here tooting his horn about, as I mentioned, but he is definitely somebody that has earned this award. Thank you to the Kidney Foundation of Illinois. The National Kidney Foundation of Illinois has done so much for so many people. It's truly amazing. Thank you again for Jesse White and his involvement for the Organ Tissue Donor Network in Illinois. That has been truly amazing. And to all the recipients of awards tonight, congratulations. Thank you to everybody that's been here tonight in support of this wonderful organization doing so much for so many. And again, what an honor it is to be here speaking on Ed Farmer's behalf. Thank you. Love.
Thank you, Secretary White, and thank you, Darren. How wonderful to honor Ed Farmer tonight. So well deserved. And when I was initially contacted about being a part of this event tonight, it was actually shortly after Ed's passing, and that was probably the biggest reason why I got involved tonight. I wasn't, I'll admit, altogether too familiar about what you all were doing, and then obviously I became quite aware of it. But it was the opportunity to honor Ed Farmer that really got me to say yes immediately. I was always a big fan of Ed. And not just his work, but of him as a person. Just the few times I got to meet him, he was a fun guy to talk baseball with. I remember the first time I met Ed was in 2005, and I was new to Chicago at the time. And it was when I first started here. I was only here about 2 or 3 months, and we were doing a pep rally during the White Sox World Series run at St. Rita. And naturally, that you twist Ed's arm to come and show up at St. Rita. And that guy was like the mayor of that place. And that was my first introduction to Ed. And a handful of times we got to have him on the show, on the WGN Morning Show, were always a treat. And just a real Southside guy, just a lot of fun to talk ball with. So We salute you tonight, Ed. And speaking of other baseball legends, now I would like to introduce you to Bridget Coles and Tom Alessio, who have quite the amazing story. Bridget is a Cub fan who needed a kidney. Tom is a Sox fan who had a kidney to give. They set their crosstown rivalry aside to create an incredible team.
Hi, my name is Bridget Coles, and I received my kidney transplant this year on July 8th, 2020. And I received my kidney transplant from a living donor whose name is Thomas, and he is a one-of-a-kind, awesome guy. And he did something very heroic for me, and I think he's a superhero in my eyes because he saved my life. So I was diagnosed with kidney failure in 2017, and I was immediately put on dialysis 3 days a week for 4 hours. And I never missed a session, so I pat myself on the back for that one. There's a lot of criteria that had to be met to be a kidney donor, and between my family and friends circle, no one was a match, so I had to I got set up on the kidney transplant list at Advocate Christ, but in the meantime, I was on dialysis and had to find a living donor somehow. I was stuck. And I know when I was first diagnosed, me and my mom attended an NKFI event where it was living with kidney disease and transplant seminar. And there was a discussion and a speaker about asking for, being loud about needing a kidney and the big ask. So that was very inspiring to me. And I thought, I didn't really have the confidence. I just was diagnosed. I didn't have the confidence yet. But as time went on and doing dialysis, I did gain confidence, and I noticed I didn't have a donor, so I had to keep trying and spread the word and be loud about my kidney health and all that. And dialysis had me stuck, and I was getting upset, and I just stayed focused and kept reminding myself that this is only temporary. And so so far, I did not have any luck finding a donor, so I had to I kept posting about it online, and that's where I decided to hold up a sign, hold up a sign that said I needed help, and now I just need to figure out which event I'm going to do this at. Well, it just so happens around the time that I was ready to make that bold move, my uncle couldn't go to a Cubs game, so he gave my brother tickets to the Cubs game, and me and my brother love the Cubs and love going to games. So my brother then invited me, and I said, this is it. I'm holding up the sign. It's going to say, this little cubby needs a kidney, and we're going to hope for the best. And so on May 7th, 2019, this is 2-ish going on 3 years of being on dialysis, I went to the Cubs game. I held up my sign. The Cubs media got involved. I let them know that I was holding up the sign, and they helped me by a simple photo, and they said, we'll post you on social media. And I was like, okay, well, they did. That little gesture helped a great ton, because my number I put on the sign started blowing up, and people were interested in donating and also sending very kind words of motivation. And one of those numbers happened to be Thomas, and then summer came and went, and he was one of the people who actually qualified to be a donor. And I asked how he heard about my sign, and he heard about it from Twitter. So social media does have its positivity, because the Cubs simple Twitter post helped me stay alive, and everyone sharing the post got helped as well by Thomas seeing the post. And Thomas is actually a Sox fan, which he put that aside to help because he's a very awesome guy. And it's just gave us a chuckle that we root for separate teams, but he just wanted to help, really. And it's as simple as that. And that's how everyone should just be willing to help. And I thank my uncle and brother for, my uncle for getting us the tickets, my brother for inviting me, the Chicago Cubs for posting as the post, and I thank my doctors for being wonderful doctors and caring and taking care of me, and my friends and family for supporting me through all I go through. And I thank NKFI for just also supporting me and educating me from the time of being diagnosed to even now. And I thank Thomas, of course, for, I could say thank you all the time, but no amount of thank yous will be as great as the gift of life he has given me. And it really takes a group to help, really, and everyone helped each other, and that is it, and I am very thankful.
Hi, my name is Thomas Alessio, and I donated a kidney to Bridget Coles on July 8th after I saw a Twitter post from the Chicago Cubs that one of my friends had shared. What I would say is, even if you're not considering donating a kidney or doing anything of that sort, any information you can either share or put out might help save someone's life, because that's how I found out. And if you have any type of way to help someone, then you have a moral obligation to do so. Thank you very much.
Wow, what an unbelievable story. Listen, I just want to let any of you who are watching know right now, don't get any ideas. I got dibs on that story to turn into a screenplay. All right. I don't know if it'll be a Hollywood movie. Maybe it'll be a Hallmark movie with Melissa Joan Hart and Joey Lawrence where they fall in love at the end. I don't know. But that story needs to be told to a wide audience. What a story. I don't care if you're a Sox fan, a Cub fan. I don't care if you're a Cardinal fan. You got to appreciate what that story was all about. So thank you, Tom and Bridget. Truly, truly heartwarming. All right. Now I would like to introduce you to someone very special. Jackie Bishop, who's going to present the second Gift of Life Award. Hey, Jackie.
Hello. Thank you, Pat. You know, before I officially started as the CEO for the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois, I had the pleasure of traveling with our wonderful advocates to Springfield for World Kidney Day 2019. While we were there, we spoke with a number of legislators who recognized the importance of focusing on kidney health, particularly when it comes to preventing kidney disease and educating the public about this health crisis. One of those legislators was Illinois State Senator Mattie Hunter of the 3rd Senate District, and now the Majority Caucus Chair. With all of the titles and responsibilities, those that know Senator Hunter know that one role she truly embraces is that of health advocate. Earlier this year, Senator Hunter spearheaded the Kidney Disease Prevention and Education Task Force and moving it into legislation, and she is the chair of that task force. The task force represents a group of dedicated individuals who will create health education programs to increase awareness and to examine chronic kidney disease, transplantation, living and deceased kidney donation, and the existing disparity in the rates of those afflicted. This task force will help change the trajectory of kidney disease toward kidney health as we know it in Illinois. That is why it is my distinct honor to present Illinois State Senator Mattie Hunter with the 35th Annual Gift of Life Award. Senator Hunter.
Good evening, everyone. I am so honored to be receiving the Gift of Life Award tonight. For years, I have fought for the kidney disease awareness, working with Secretary of State Jesse White and the Gift of Life donor program with the esteemed leader Jack Lynch and his esteemed team to pass meaningful legislation to help solidify donations for kidney disease patients and lowering the age of donor registry. That bill allowed for tens of thousands of teenagers to register as organ donors. Also, I have worked with the Kidney Foundation over the past several years with Jackie Burgess Bishop to create the Kidney Disease Prevention and Education Task Force, which I have recently been appointed chair. Our goal is in creating this task force is to spearhead and strengthen the initiatives to change the trajectory of kidney disease in our nation. The task force also aims to increase awareness of and examine the effects of chronic kidney disease, transplants, and kidney donations, and should have members appointed by the end of the year so that we can get started. I was shocked to learn that 1 in 3 Americans are at risk of kidney disease, but it is still widely talked about. It is not widely talked about. Additionally, there is greater rates of diagnosis in minority groups. End-stage renal disease prevalence is nearly 4 times greater in African Americans, 1 in 4 times greater in Native Americans, and 1 in 5 times greater in Asian Americans. I wanted to get involved in part also because I was unsuccessful in getting a kidney for my niece that we lost last year, and had to figure out a way to basically end these disparities and help spread awareness in order to prevent the disease from worsening. Because this disease can be undetectable until it advances, less than 10% of people in the first 3 stages of chronic disease are aware that they even have the disease. It is important to me that legislators and health officials help make life easier for the 37 million people living with chronic kidney disease. I want people to know the steps they can take to help themselves remain healthy and have options when they are in need of life-saving care. I will do everything in my power, believe me, to make sure that those who suffer from kidney disease feel supported. My hope is that a diagnosis will not have to lead to a death sentence because patients have a wealth of knowledge and resources at their disposal. Thank you again for this award to everyone, and everyone deserves the gift of life to its fullest. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
All right. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Senator Hunter. I think we all look forward to seeing what the task force will accomplish in the coming years. All right, listen, we're going to take a little, I don't want to call it a short, tiny little break. All right. If you need to refresh your drink, this is a big bottle. Oh, it disappeared. Where'd it go? Oh, boy. Oh, because it's green. I see. Anyway, I'm holding a champagne bottle. Oh, there it is. Hold it right in front of my face. If you have this, refresh your drink or get yourself a snack. I know y'all got one of these, the popcorn. Mine is still sealed because my wife has called dibs on the popcorn. And if I could find a way to reattach this seal so that it looks like it's never been opened and she would never know, I would open it up and have some. But as it stands right now, this is not tamper-proof, and I think she would know and break my fingers. In a loving way, she would do that. Also, you know what? Take this opportunity while I'm up here just rambling on to check out all the wonderful sponsors who have made this night possible. I do a big fundraiser myself for a cause that my wife and I are very passionate about, and so much of our support comes from our sponsors who are with us year in and year out, and I know that's the same for us tonight. So go on there, get on the site, click on the sponsors and the tab to my right, your left. Give these companies some love. This is a tough time for business. This is a tough time economically for all of us. So companies and sponsors that are giving are showing more generosity this year than ever before. So support them. Do what you can to support our sponsors. Also want to remind you that we have some fantastic silent auction items and raffle tickets available. Okay, so you're going to click on the Support the Cause tab to check them out and place your bids. All right, listen, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff on there that you're thinking, boy, I really wanted this thing anyway. And now it's totally tax deductible. So that awesome prize you wanted, you're like, I could pay a little more for it tonight because it's all going towards a good cause. And then I get to write it off my taxes, which is fantastic. It's a win-win. So get on there, spend some money. Let's donate. All right, let's raise some money, people. All right, let's get back to our program now because I'm eating up a lot of time, and I know there are a lot more important people and a lot smarter people than me tonight who need to say a few things. So right now, I would like to introduce you to Christine Hernandez, who is a registered nurse and a mother of 4 who is on dialysis.
My name is Christine Hernandez, and I am I would consider myself a kidney warrior. In June of 2019 was when I was finally cleared to be on the transplant list. I went through it went so fast. I grieved and didn't have a chance to grieve, so everything happened so fast. But I'm grateful that I had such a great support system at home. My family supported me in every decision that I made with my health. They knew that the number one thing was for me to be alive and for me to get a transplant. In July was when my kidney function started getting even lower. It was like 17 at that point. Initially, I started my dialysis journey in center. Even though I'm a nurse, I was a little chicken and I was afraid to do home hemo. Why? I don't know. I should have did it from the beginning, but I went in center for like a few months, like 2-3 months. And then I started transitioning into home hemo. And doing home hemo has been such a life changer because for those people that can do home hemo, you have the flexibility of doing it when you want it. If you want it in the nighttime, you could do it in the nighttime. If you're a morning person, you could do it in the morning. If you're a midday person, you could do it midday. It's at your convenience. So it empowers you and gives you kind of your life back where you had lost all control. You kind of could control that. So I do home hemo. I switch my days up a lot. As long as I do it 4 days a week, I'm okay. My labs are really good. I actually started to gain some weight. I had lost a lot of weight. I was underweight. And since I started the home hemo, my life has changed. I'm actually going on vacation with my machine. And you could have a normal lifestyle even though you have hemodialysis. And that's the good thing about making the choice that I did. I would encourage patients like myself to ask questions to their doctors, especially if they're diabetics, so if they have high blood pressure, ask about their kidney function, and maybe even getting baseline nephrology consults, because It's so important. The kidneys are so important. They're your lifeline. And if you could take care of your kidneys and be your own advocate and diet and exercise, preserve your kidney function, then do it, because it's worth it. It's worth it 100%. Right now, I'm living on dialysis. I'm waiting for a transplant. I'm listed at Northwestern Memorial here in Chicago. I hope to be able to have my transplant at Northwestern, because that was where I had my first nursing job, and I know that they take care of their nurses. They're amazing. The doctors are amazing. The nurses are amazing. I think nurses in general are amazing and doctors are amazing, but I had experience firsthand with Northwestern and the way I treated my patients, and I want that treatment for myself. And I just feel like you have to advocate for yourself. You have to be, and there's so many resources out there, like the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois. They have educational sessions on anemia, which is really important, on dialysis, on different modalities of dialysis, on educational, on preparing yourself for your journey. You have to be well informed. And when you go to your doctor, I know a lot of times, even myself, I go to the doctor and I forget questions, so I write them down and I ask my doctor the questions that I have, because I won't leave the office till I get my answers. And I advocate for that. I advocate for patients to ask those questions that they want answered, because your kidneys are your lifeline and you only have 2 of them. And if they aren't functioning, you're going to be in need of either dialysis or a transplant. And for people that are looking into donating and giving the gift of life, it's amazing, because you know what? You could live with 1 kidney. That 1 kidney compensates for the other kidney. You'll live a normal life. You'll live a healthy life. And you're giving another person a chance to thrive and live and have a life as well. I have goals. I want to be able to be a mom, go out with my kids, go on vacations without my machine, go back to becoming a nurse and paying it forward to patients like me, being that I've been at the other side of the spectrum, and helping people and educating them and letting them know that they have a voice out there and that there are people that are willing to help you. All you need to do is ask, and people, they'll help you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christine. We are so inspired by your strength and your grace, and we hope your life-saving transplant comes very soon. Now, I would like to turn it over to Jill Schaff, the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois Board Vice President, to present our Corporate Partner Award.
Thank you, Pat. Good evening. I am Jill Schaff, Vice President of the National Kidney Foundation of the Illinois Board of Directors. Baxter is a leader in the renal care industry, pioneering therapy options for people with kidney disease, including peritoneal dialysis and hemodialysis, allowing patients like Christine to dialyze in the comfort of their own homes. I'm very familiar with Baxter's impact within the renal community. I devoted a significant part of my professional career working in renal care at Baxter. I held a variety of positions at Baxter over 16 years, and I was always in awe by the commitment of its employees to renal patients and the kidney community, similar to what I see at the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois. This is why I believe this partnership has been so strong over time. In addition to their important work, Team Baxter has given generously of their time and financial resources to the foundation over the years. Most significantly, they have been the presenting sponsor of the NKFI of Illinois' Walk for Kidneys since its inception in 1999. Baxter has also sponsored a number of kidney mobile screenings and patient programs supporting patients from testing to treatment. We thank Baxter for their incredible support and are so pleased to recognize them with the Corporate Partner Award. This award is given to recognize corporate partners who make a significant commitment to supporting research, prevention, and treatment of chronic kidney disease, particularly to their involvement with NKFI. As a Baxter alum, it gives me great pleasure to present the NKFI Corporate Partner Award to Baxter International. Accepting the award tonight is Gavin Campbell, General Manager, U.S. Renal at Baxter International, Inc., and a fellow board member of the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois.
Thank you so much, Jill, for those kind words. And thank you to the NKFI for this absolutely incredible award. While the pandemic has canceled so many things in our lives, the call for kidney health has not been canceled. And fortunately, neither has the Gala. Now, many of us have a direct connection to kidney disease, whether it's a family member, a coworker, a friend, or even ourselves. We know the devastating effects of this condition. And I am so proud to be with you today to represent Baxter and share in the battle against kidney disease. Why? Because I feel the NKFI's mission is so closely aligned with Baxter's mission of saving and sustaining lives. That's something we do at Baxter every day, whether it's in the hospital, in the clinic, or at home, using dialysis products, critical care solutions, IV nutrition, or even surgical devices. That's what we do. I want to thank everyone who took the time to join us today and for your enthusiasm and tireless efforts to raise awareness, volunteer, and raise funds for the NKFI. We at Baxter look forward to an even brighter future ahead with the NKFI and the community and the patients that we serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Gavin. We truly could not do what we're doing tonight without your support and your generosity. NKFI is committed to helping people whose lives have been impacted by kidney disease through innovative research, through raising awareness, encouraging prevention, offering education, and pioneering the only program in the nation geared towards providing support and education to kids impacted by kidney disease. And in order to fund all of these incredible endeavors, we need your help. All right, you've helped us a lot already. Now we need you to help us some more. And right now I'm going to turn it back over to NKFI CEO Jackie Bishop once again to guide us through the fund the mission portion of the evening. Jackie, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Pat. Together, we have the power to achieve new feats in the world of kidney disease and transplantation. And speaking of the topic of together, I wanted to bring up, like a number of families probably within the state of Illinois, Metro Chicago area, when it comes to baseball, there can be a little division in terms of teams and who's a fan of what team. So just so that everyone knows, my husband is a Cubs fan, and he gave me permission that I could bring his jacket and show to demonstrate that we truly are coming together, and tonight that we are coming together as a team to raise funds for the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois. So tonight, during Fund the Mission, we ask that you help support our endeavors. We are funding 5 areas tonight: research, our COVID-19 response, our kidney mobile, our Take Charge chronic disease and self-management program, and youth programs. You are certainly welcome to donate more than once. To donate, just click the Support the Cause tab and choose the Fund the Mission option of your choice. Let's begin with research. Each year, the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois funds up to 5 research grants that encourage the the studies of the prevention and treatment of chronic kidney disease. This past year, with the help and with your help of our generous donors, we were able to fund over $200,000 toward research. Next up is our COVID-19 response. When the pandemic hit, our programs and outreach teams sprang into action and prepared COVID-19 and chronic kidney disease kits. These kits include masks, hand sanitizers, information about COVID-19, and information about chronic kidney disease. Thanks to our community partners, we've been able to distribute over 4,000 households at food pantry pickups and parts of census outreach. What would happen is that we would partner alongside our community partners that were executing those events and support them, as well as hand out our kits and share information. And we really appreciate the opportunity to make that difference during these challenging times. Want you to know that your donation of $500 will provide 100 COVID-19 and chronic kidney disease kits. Since 2005, moving forward, our kidney mobile has screened almost 60,000 Illinois residents for chronic kidney disease and its two main precursors, diabetes and hypertension. Even amidst the pandemic, we've been able to provide Illinois' most at-risk residents with free testing. Just last week, so we've been able to start back up in the last couple of weeks, and we're really thrilled about that with our screenings. So just last week, we screened a gentleman whose kidney function was so low, he had to be rushed into the emergency room. That's when we know that we're having impact and making a difference. So your donation of $250 will provide 3 Illinois residents with a full battery of tests, dietary counseling, and follow-up from our Kidney Mobile team. This month also marks the beginning of a brand new program called Take Charge. This 8-week-long chronic disease self-management program will give those living with chronic kidney disease, diabetes, or hypertension the tools to manage their health. These patients will learn how to control their symptoms, avoid complications, improve their overall health, manage everyday activities, and become advocates for themselves. This program really embodies, along with our advocacy efforts, the component of our mission that deals with empowerment. Your $100 donation will provide 1 week of education for one of these attendees. One thing that we know is that a kidney disease diagnosis can be especially challenging for children and their parents. We've teamed up with physicians, child life specialists, dietitians, teachers, and families to develop a fun and educational program focused on helping young patients and their families navigate a kidney disease diagnosis. The pandemic meant that this year's program had to be held virtually to protect the health of our little ones. One parent commented that it was the best virtual program that she attended. I had an opportunity to view part of it, and the kids that were involved were very much involved. Even with the challenge of providing virtual programming, more than 30 families attended, and they actually stayed through the end of the program. They had longer attention spans than even some of the adults. Your gift of $50 provides educational materials for one child at our Kids Living with Kidney Disease and Transplantation program. We would like to stop now to thank you for giving so generously this evening. As you have heard many times tonight, we truly are a team. We could not accomplish our work without your time, talents, and your generous donations. We sincerely thank you. And without further ado, I would like to turn it over to our board member, Mark Schwartz, for closing remarks. Mark?
Good evening. I'm Mark Schwartz, a member of the NKFI Board of Directors. The mission of the NKFI is to improve the health and well-being of people at risk for or affected by kidney disease through prevention, education, and empowerment. Tonight, on this, the 35th anniversary of the Gift of Life Gala, your generosity has helped us to fulfill that mission. And for that, we are exceedingly grateful. I'd like to take a few moments to recognize those who helped make this evening a success. I want to thank our board president, Dr. Tipu Puri, and Ms. Jill Schaff from our board of directors for participating in tonight's program. And a very special thank you to Bridget and Tom and Christine for sharing their inspiring stories with us this evening. And of course, tonight would not be possible without the support of our sponsors. Our presenting sponsor, Nephrology Associates of Northern Illinois and Indiana. Our gold sponsors, Benish, Freelander, Copeland, and Aronoff LLP. Care DX, Dialysis Care Center, Fresenius Kidney Care, Gift of Hope Organ and Tissue Donor Network, Morgan Stanley, Northwestern Medicine, Next Stage, and Jill Schaff. Our silver sponsors, Mark and Jacqueline B. Bishop, and U.S. Renal Care. I want to give special thanks to my fellow host committee members, Dr. Ashutosh Gupta, Kevin Lee, and Dr. Tipu Puri. Also, I would like to thank our honorees, State Senator Mattie Hunter and Baxter International, as well as the Chicago White Sox and the Farmer family for their support and dedication. Finally, I want to thank Pat Tomasulo for leading tonight's program and for sharing his time and talents with us. Thank you for all your generous support tonight. By coming together as a team in support of the work the NKFI of Illinois is doing, you are investing in the future of kidney health. We thank you for joining us and hope this time next year, maybe we can all get together in person. Please stay tuned for another few moments for some throwback photos from the last 35 years of galas. On behalf of the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois, good night.